Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. High voltage engineering, and today our topic is to discuss the energy and the potential. Okay, so you may be familiar with the electric field. The electric field is said to be exist in the region of the space around a charged object. The charge may be a negatively charged particle or maybe uh, the positive charge particle, and these charges may be the form of point charge, maybe the line charges, and maybe in the form of volume charges. We will discuss the electric field intensity of these point charges, line and volume charges in the next lecture, but today we have to discuss only the brief about the electric field. So we have to have the test charge in order to test the electric field in experienced by that test charge from the source charge. Okay, so the electric field is defined as the electric force on the test charge per unit the charge. Okay, force applied on a unit charge. Okay, so if you want to know the electric field, you can find the force is equal to, by cross multiplication, we have q into E. Okay. Conventionally, if the q is positive, F and E are in the same direction, and q is negative, F and E are in opposite direction. Okay, so field around plus q, this is the source charge plus, and we have taken the test charge uh, plus q. So this test charge will experience the force in the direction of electric field. Okay, and if we have taken the negative charge, then it will attract, so it will be just like that. Against, the force will be against the electric field. So the arrow in a field are not the vectors, they are the lines of the force, and these are the imaginary lines. The lines of the force indicate the direction of the force on a positive charge placed in the field. The negative charge experience a force in the opposite direction, just like that. Okay. uh, okay, now we have the charges in the form of line or in the plate charges. So as you know that at the center we have the uniform field, but as soon as we are going to the edges, we will experience a non-uniform field like these are the bulges of the electric field. Okay, so the same, just like the point charge, due to point charge the test charge is experience a force. So as is the case with the line charges, the q will experience the force from plus q to the negative in the direction of the electric field. Okay, according to the Coulomb's law, F is equal to k q naught over r square. Q is actually the source charge and q naught is the test charge. Okay, so the force experienced on a test charge is the electric field intensity. So replace the Coulomb's force over here, so we will get k q over r square, because the q naught will be cancelled out with this q naught. Okay. Superposition principle for the electric field. Let's suppose we have a test charge over here, and we have two source charges. One is at point 1 and the other is at point 2, and we have the charge at the point 1 is positive, while we have taken the negative charge on point 2. Okay, so what will happen actually, uh, the one charge will repel this test charge, because we have always taken the test charge as positive conventionally. So it will so the plus and negative is not mentioned with the test charge, but we know that conventionally it is always uh, plus, okay, positive. So it will repel. So E1 is actually the electric field intensity of this source charge 1, okay. So it is going to repel this, while the 2 is negative, so it will attract this positive test charge, so the direction will be like that, okay. So what would be the net electric field intensity experienced by this test charge, and what would be the magnitude, okay. So and what will be the direction, in which direction it will move, because this test charge is experience two forces with different directions. E1 is pushing it on the right side, while the 2 is pulling it on the left side. So what would be the net direction for the E? So here, first of all, we will find the magnitude E2, the electric field intensity applied by the two charge. So K Q2 over R square, okay. R, this is 6, okay, this is 6 meter, and from 1 to 2 we have the distance of 5 meter. So K, Coulomb constant 8.98 into 10 to the power 9, and Q2 is given. Q2 is 2 microcoulomb, Q1 is 1 microcoulomb. This minus means this is a negatively charged particle, okay. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 6, okay. And this is 6 meters, so 6 square. We will get 5 into 10 to the power 2 coulomb per Newton per coulomb. E1 K Q1 over R square, this is K. Now we have 1 coulomb, so 1 into 10 to the power minus 6, and the total distance is 11 meter. Now 5 plus 6, so 5 plus 6 11 meter. So you will get this. So as E2 is greater than E1, so the net force would be the direction of E2. It means the net direction will be towards the right, towards the left side, that is this, okay. This blue, this, because E2 is greater than E1, so this blue indicates the net E direction, means same direction as E2, okay. So the net, as these two are in the opposite direction, so the net would be E2 minus E1. If these two vectors, uh, if these two vectors were in the same direction, then we will add up. Now in this case you have to subtract these, okay. E2 minus E1, this is E2, this is E1, so net E will be 4.3 into 10 to the power 2 Newton per coulomb, okay. Now what is the relationship between the electric field and the potential? So we have considered the equipotential surface. Equipotential surface means, as indicated by its name, those surfaces which have the equal potential. Means if this is a equipotential surface, so it means the potential at each point of this surface would be same. If we have placed the test charge over here or over here or over here or over here, so it will have the same potential. So this means this is equipotential, and this is another equipotential. These two are equipotential. It doesn't mean that if we place the charge over there or over there, that would be uh, would have the same potential. No, equipotential surface means have the same potential on that particular surface, not to other surface, okay. So by definition, work done would be the work done on test charge by moving from point B to point A, sorry, from point A to point B. This is the initial point A, and this is the final point B. So the work done in moving a charge from A to point B, this is actually the work done. And so work done is equal to Q naught VB, means the final point potential of this final point, VB minus potential of the initial point. So Q naught is that test charge, okay, and delta V means the difference of the voltages. Okay, so this is equation number 1. Now by definition we have work done is equal to force applied on any body and having some displacement. So F dot dr, this is the dot product. So according to F is equal to QE, okay, and cos theta because of the dot product. Okay, as force is opposite to the E, this is the direction of E, and we are forcing the Q charge to move against the electric field. This is against the electric field, because if we leave this charge, then it will be repelled in the direction of E, so no work will be done, because it is actually uh, the 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 property of the source charge to repel it. So this is not actually a work done. Okay, so the work done would be if we place it against the field. So this minus is actually against the field. Okay, so minus QE dr. Okay, this dr means small displacement, minus QE dr cos theta, cos 180 degree, because uh, the angle between the force and the displacement is 180 degree. Okay, so cos 180 minus 1, so minus will be multiplied with minus, we will get QEdr. So equating these two equations, we will get uh, delta E. Q naught will be cancelled with this Q naught. Delta E is equal to E dr, or E is equal to del V over dr. So this is the relation between the electric field and the electric potential. By another we can also apply the integration, because this is the rule in mathematics, that we are taking the small fractions, and then after at the end we are adding these fractions. So how to add these fractions? By integration. Okay, so minus q, the force applied is against the field, so that is because of minus. Okay. And in this case we have consider a work done against the electric field. Okay, moving a charge from infinity to a point of under consideration, means point of observation. So minus infinity to 0, this is the initial point, this is the final point. Okay, so if we are uh, changing the signs of these limits, so it will be then plus. Okay, so q will be equal to 0 to plus infinity E dl, q E dl, let q is equal to 1, then v is equal to q E l, or E is equal to q by l, the same. E is equal to, yes, okay, v by l, and E is equal to v by l. Okay, initial to final point. Okay. Okay, so two things about the E and V. The electric field points in the direction of decreasing electric potential. Okay, so uh, we will explain this point, that this is actually the E. So as the distance is traveled, the electric potential is going to decrease. So electric field points in the direction of decreasing electric potential. So the electric field is actually pointing, this is pointing towards the decreasing electric potential, means the potential over here is less. Okay, so and the potential over here is greater, so the E is pointing towards the decreasing This is actually the decreased point, the minimum point of the potential. So the E is pointing towards the decreasing electric potential. Okay. Okay, so and the second point is the electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Okay, this is E. So this is actually the equipotential surface. So equipotential surface is this, this line is actually equipotential surface. This is perpendicular to the E, always perpendicular to the E, because if we draw a line like that, would it be equipotential surface? No, because at each point, this point, this point, and this point, the electric potential is not the same. So we cannot say that this is the equipotential surface. However, this can be an equipotential surface because the electric field intensity over here, 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 this is same. Okay. So E is directing towards the lower electric potential, means here the potential is low, and here the potential will be high. Okay, high, medium, and low. Okay, zero work done. Zero work will be done when a charge is moved perpendicular to the electric field. I have discussed this point over here. Okay, so no work done, no work will be done. F is equal to f d cos theta. If theta is 90 degree perpendicular, so cos 90 is equal to 0. Okay. Okay, now this is another equipotential surfaces example, and now these equipotential surfaces are from the point charge. Okay, so this red circle is actually equipotential surface because the distance from this to this equipotential surface is the same. So uh, the at each point the electric potential will be the same. Okay, if we move the charge from this to this, no work will be done. Okay, and the E is pointing towards the decreasing electric potential, means the potential over here is high, medium, and then low. Okay. Now the uniform and non-uniform electric field. If the electric field intensity is same throughout the field region, then it is known as uniform electric field. And the uniform electric field exists between two infinite parallel plates or two spheres of equal diameter, and when the gap distance is less than the diameter of the sphere. Okay, so infinite with finite plates we cannot achieve a uniform, because there we have these bulges which make this region or field non-uniform. Okay, however in the center we will get the uniform field, but overall this field will be non-uniform because of the edges. So either you have infinite length of charge plates, which is not possible, or if we have closer, then we may achieve a bit uniform. And the other solution is we must have spherical electrodes, and so that the both are having the equal diameter, and the gap between this is the gap between these. Okay, the gap must be less than, means closer, less than the diameter. Okay, if the diameter are 2 micro for example, so it must be less than 2 micro. Okay, non-uniform field, if the electric field intensity is different at different uh, region of the field. Okay, so it is known as non-uniform field. And corona discharge is actually the example of non-uniform field. Okay, we will discuss corona in a in detail in a separate chapter in the final term course. Okay, this is actually the uniform field, and non-uniform field is just like that. This is the demo for the uniform and non-uniform field. Okay, now the dielectric. Okay, the dielectric is an electrical insulator that can be polarized by an applied electric field. Okay, and that is why it is named as dielectric. Di means two, electric means charges. Okay, so when the this material is placed in the electric field, it gets polarized, so it is called as dielectric. When the dielectric material is placed in the electric field, electric charges do not flow through the material as they do in the electrical conductor, but only slightly shifts from their average equilibrium position, causing the dielectric polarization. For example, if we have this field, so if these are like that, when these were not placed in the electric field, so when these are placed in the electric field, for example, this is positive charge plate, this is negative charge plate, then it will polarized, it will rotate in this direction. A torque will be applied, a turning effect will be applied due to the influence of this electric field, so it will be moved like that. So it is called polarization, and this polarization is due to the influence of the external electric field. Okay, so this is the electrical dipoles. uh, these are the positive charges and negative charges. Okay, these two are equal in magnitude but oppositely signed and separated by some distance, small distance. Okay, for example, these are the dipoles, um, randomly distributed dipoles. These are not placed in the electric field. When electric field is applied, they rotates. Some of them may rotate by 30 degrees, some by 60 degrees, some by 90 degrees. It depends upon their original position. Okay, so for example, this is rotate like by how much degree? Greater than 90 degree. Okay, so this is the aligned form of the charges. So the positive charge will attract the negative pole, and the negative will attract the positive pole. So we can see that an internal electric field has been caused by these dipoles, because this is the external, this is the electric direction of the external field, but now we have also some sort of internal field as well, which is pointing against the external field. So this is the internal field, and this is actually the external field direction. So these two are in the opposite direction. So the net electric field will be reduced because of the influence of the internal electric field. Okay, okay, some of the dipoles are permanently dipoles that depend upon their structures. So this is the example of permanent dipole, means already made dipoles, ready-made dipoles. Okay, so plus minus, just they are randomly arranged, and these will be aligned when the external electric field is applied to these randomly distributed dipoles. Okay, so example of the permanent dipole structures are HCl. Look at this HCl. H is positively charged, Cl is negatively. So this is actually the permanent dipoles. Okay, and the angle between these two will be always 180 degree. Okay, either it is placed on up down or like on the diagonal position, but the angle will never be changed. Okay, similar is the case with the water. H2O is also the example of permanent dipoles, and the angle between the H are the positively charged dipoles and O is the negatively. The angle between these two H will always be 108.5 degree, just like that. Okay, so maybe it these are just like that or that, but angle will never change. This angle will never change. Okay, it on the application of the external electric field, they are not changing their angle, just rotating with the same angle. Okay, so these were the example of permanent dipoles. Now these are the temporary dipoles. When the field is not applied, the structure is just like that. Okay, so when the external electric field is applied, directing from this to this, it means here are the positive charge plates and here are the negative charge plates. So the negative charges will be affected by these positive charge plates, and this centralized nucleus will be affected by the negatively charged plates. So a permanent dipole will be created with the application of external electric field, but when the field is removed, so what would happen? It goes back to its original structure, just like that. Okay, so that is why these are called the temporary dipoles. These are not the permanent dipoles. Okay, so that was all about for the moment. So we will meet in the next class. Thank you.